I'm Michaela Hernandez, and I was diagnosed with breast cancer in December 2019. Something was just off in my left breast, and I actually had the opportunity to have it looked at 2 years prior, but I decided not to because I was 32, and I thought 32-year-olds don't get mammograms, I'll be fine. Fast forward to 2 years later, I noticed that the area had changed, and so I brought it to my OBGYN's attention when I had my regular checkup, and she recognized, yeah, I feel what you're feeling, it does feel different, let's get it checked out just in case. There it started. So it just started with one phone call. I remember I pulled over into a random parking lot and I called the mammogram office to set up an appointment, and it was the weirdest experience of thinking I shouldn't be doing this right now. Well, sure enough, not even 24 hours later, I got a phone call, and it was the doctor's office letting me know that I did actually have cancer. So Dr. Peddi came into the picture after I had my surgery. I decided that I wanted to pursue treatment in California because that's where I'm from, that's where my husband's from, that's where all of our family is located. I feel confident in the medical care. I started researching, and then I found my medical team. I know I'm going to do surgery. I want to get a mastectomy, and during that process I had to find out if I was going to do a double. So I was stage 0 when I was initially diagnosed. When they did the mastectomy, they did find a 0.5, half a millimeter of invasive cancer. So that upgraded me to stage 1, and with that, I am triple positive, hormone positive, as well as HER2 positive. And because of that, I was thinking, all right, I'm not gonna need chemo, I'm not gonna have to do all this additional treatment. But my surgical oncologist said, well, let's get you connected with Dr. Peddi, and she's amazing, and you're going to love her, and she's gonna help you get on the right treatment plan. I was told around March of 2020 that I was going to need chemo, and that, actually, before I could even do chemo, because I am a younger woman of childbearing years, I had to rush into fertility treatment because my partner and I, we were not sure what that looked like in the future, but we didn't want to take that off the table and not have that opportunity because we didn't know what chemo was going to do to my body. And we jumped into fertility treatment. And again, Dr. Peddi was remarkable because I remember I met with her once. We talked about chemo, and we talked about, she had said, do you plan on having children? If so, we need to get you in front of a fertility doctor. And I was still digesting the fact that I needed chemo, and then I'm like, I'm sorry, now I have to talk about and plan for if I'm going to have children and what that process is going to look like. And she is a miracle worker, and before the end of the day, I had not only a phone call from the fertility doctor, but an appointment. I came in, I think business was closed, and he was willing to stay open for me to come in and see because Dr. Peddi let him know, we want her to start on treatment soon. So I, right then and there, knew that Dr. Peddi was the right doctor for me because she provided the best possible care and really made things happen. Because I think if I had to sit on it and then therefore find my own doctors or wait for another appointment, I think my head would have exploded. I haven't had a lot of that experience with doctors, and for her to take the time to really let her patients know that they matter to her, and it's not just a job for her, like we are true people, and she wants to see us thrive and be healthy, and she is 100,000,000% invested in her patients. And I hated COVID so much, and still do, because I hadn't been able to hug her, and so being able to hug her today is like, I always, when she comes and I go in for my checkups, I'm always like, Dr. Peddi, I get excited to see her. Who can say that about their oncologist? I hopefully a lot of patients, but I'm really excited that I can say that about mine.
So The thing that is important to understand is that not all breast cancer is the same. There are many different types of breast cancer, and we don't treat everybody the same. There are some that are more aggressive, some that are less aggressive, and you want to tailor your treatment to the individual person. Now, HER2 is a marker that we discovered back in the 1980s, and about 20% of breast cancers are positive for HER2. In these cancers, HER2 positive breast cancers, we know they're more aggressive. They have more potential for wanting to get out of the breast, spread to other sites, and therefore become incurable and kill a person from cancer. So since the 1980s, when we first found out about this specific type of breast cancer, our drugs have also caught up. We have very good drugs now, specific antibodies against this HER2 molecule that can target it and basically take away this growth factor from the cancer cells. So HER2 positive breast cancers have gone from being worse than other types of breast cancer if you don't treat them right, to being better than even other types of breast cancer because our treatments are that good. So Michaela, when she was first diagnosed, the pathology report was just a portion of her biopsy, and that part was not HER2 positive. When she went for surgery and we got the full specimen out, we found out that she actually has this more aggressive type of breast cancer that is HER2 positive. So even though she's a stage 1 breast cancer patient, because she had this aggressive breast cancer and because she's only 32 and she has every reason in the world to have a long survival and never deal with this breast cancer ever again, we talked to her about doing chemotherapy to increase her odds of cure. It was hard for her to hear that, but she understood why it had to be done. And I talked to her about various different chemotherapy options, and we chose one that was best for her for a stage 1 type of breast cancer, and combined it with an anti-HER2 drug called Herceptin that she would be getting IV. And she did great. She pulled through, she finished it, and now she's on the other side and happy that she did everything that she was supposed to do for her aggressive type of breast cancer, and now should have excellent odds of having beaten this cancer forever, hopefully.